Hi, this is your host Walid Isa, and today I'm going through explaining an example of MOSFET amplifier circuit, and in particular two-stage amplifier. So this is the circuit that we will cover in this lecture, and to explain it and understand each MOSFET function here, we are going through some intended learning outcomes, where first we are going to identify the function of each transistor group, because these transistors can be grouped together to form a functional circuit, and then we will understand why they are brought to the design, and finally to calculate the gain of this amplifier. So looking at this amplifier, we can identify easily there are two sets of transistors, PMOS transistor and also NMOS transistor. And also by looking at each group of transistors, we can identify here, for example, two transistors which are forming a differential amplifier. We have differential input here, and the output will be between that node and that node. And we have also another set of transistors which form a current mirror. Why this current mirror brought to this design, and what is the advantage brought also by this current mirror to the output stage of this differential amplifier. This is what we're gonna explore. And also we have two sets of transistors here, which also works like a current mirror, but they are mirroring that reference and pushing that reference current or part of it to this end here, to this node here. That means they are representing like a current source to the differential amplifier. And finally, we have the first stage of amplification here with the output here, but also they have another stage of amplification done by a common source amplifier, which is done by M6. And that M6 is loaded not by a resistor, it's loaded by a MOSFET as well. And that MOSFET is biased also by the current mirror here, and that's extension to the current mirror of that one. So we will understand each one, what is bringing it to the design, and the advantage of each of them. So to identify what is the analysis of this amplifier, and to practice that, we have to remember the small signal model of the transistor. And small signal model only represents only the changes. So if there are some changes between the gate and source voltage, that will bring some changes also in the current between the drain and source and going through RM. The RM is the reciprocal of GM, and GM is the transconductance, and R out is also a specification of a transistor, which is the output resistance. That's for the NMOS, and similarly it will be exactly the same model for the PMOS, and any changes between the gate and source, it will be brought by changing of that current. So we will take these two small signal models to our design and start looking at the basic structure of a differential amplifier, and looking how we can use the small signal models to analyze this circuit, for example, and to add and build up more blocks surrounding book. So here we have VDD, and that VDD is pushing current through RSS, and that current is divided to the right and left equally, because we assuming here are very identical branches. So that current, which is I over 2 and I over 2, they are considered as the biased current. So they are already biased, and they are ready to operate under the region that we want the design to be in. And any now changes brought by this input here, it should appear between that node and that node, and we call these as the differential output. So we can compute the voltage at this node and the voltage at that node, and just subtract them from each other, and we will get the V output. So by bringing here a very small change, for example delta Vn, but that delta Vn, we are dividing that delta Vn by 2 here, and exactly the same portion but negative sign by 2 here. So we split them because we want to understand the impact of each change on that on each transistor. So by small signal model, okay, that we have, we can replace these two MOSFETs by the small signal model, and we can start to study the impact of this small change here between gate and source, okay, on the current here, and understand what's happening. So again, we have to understand what is the differential gain, and to calculate that, which is the ratio between the output appearing here based on the input appearing or applied between that node and that node. So if we have, for example, a very identical voltage here, okay, and there, we will start seeing a current. That current will be induced in that direction here, for example, because this is positive sign, okay, and go to that node. But at the same time, there is another current, but because we have negative sign, that will be sinking to that direction. So we have the same exact current because they are already matched going through this circulation, and there is no current will go through that RSS. So in this way, because there is no current here induced due to the changes by this input and that input, there is no voltage here, and I can assume the voltage drop will be 0, and I can represent it by short circuit. So what is the V output from that side to compute the differential gain? The V output here from, we want to understand the output in impedance seen by this terminal. So by looking down here, we will see our RD to the ground, and by looking up here, we will see R out to the ground, okay? So we can represent them by RD parallel to R out, and that current is going out from that node, which is VGS. So V out will be minus RD R out GM multiplied by the V input, which is here delta V in by 2, and similarly for the V out, the negative terminal, and by subtracting them from each other, we can compute the V out as RD parallel to R out GMVN, and by computing the ratio between V out and Vn, we can get something called differential gain, which is RD parallel to R out GM. We can understand from this equation that if we increase RD too much, we can increase the gain of this amplifier. But we are assuming here a differential input. What about the common mode input? If we have a signal that has been picked up, for example, by these two terminals identically, okay, from, for example, a noise or a power line or other surrounding circuits, that noise will appear here and here at the same time and the same value and amplitude. So what is the value brought to the output here by bringing that value and that value to these terminals? And this is called common mode gain. So by computing again the V output due to that common mode gain, because we have identical V input here and V input here, both together will push current toward the up here, okay, and will circulate back to RD here and RD there. So V output 1 will be RD multiplied by the current pushed by this delta Vn, which is this one, and also similarly for the other terminal, and by subtracting them, because they are exactly identical, so the V output produced by the V in here and here, it will be 0, and again will be 0. But this result is valid if we are assuming here a very identical transistor and resistor branch here and here. But if we have here some small variation happen to this resistor, for example, that Vn will push some current to this RSS, and that one as well will push some current through RSS, and that one will be also circulating to this RD and similarly to that RD. So what is the V output here? V output will equal minus RDI, and also V output there minus I times RD plus delta RD. But what is I here? I here is Vn divided by Rm plus 2 RSS, because we have two currents going through that resistor from these two branches, and that will duplicate the voltage across this resistor. So by multiplying or by getting the V output differential due to the common mode value between that terminal and that terminal, we will get this equation, and the common mode gain, it will be the change in RD divided by 2 RSS. So that describe how much amplification that Vn and that Vn, the noise picked up by this amplifier, will be brought to the output, and this is the amplification for that. And the ability for an amplifier to reject the input brought by these two inputs to the output, we call it CMRR, common mode rejection ratio, which is AD, the differential amplification divided by the common mode amplification, and this is here the equation. By looking at the equation, we can understand that the RSS, if it's very high, it will reject more the common mode rejection, the common mode signal, which is desirable part. So how we increase the RSS here? Increasing the RSS, it might to deteriorate the biasing here for the transistor 1 and transistor 2. So what is the component that has very high impedance and at the same time can maintain a constant current to be biasing the two transistors? And I think you will agree with me, it's the current source, okay? And that current source will have very high RSS, at the same time it maintains the biasing correctly. And that has been synthesized by these two transistors here, and they are mirroring that reference partially or identically to be pushed to that node and biasing these two transistors. So that has been brought to increase the CMRR and rejection to the common mode. Okay, so why is this part here? By looking at the differential inputs here, that point here and that point, we have here differential output. And we know the differential strategy here, it reduces the common mode gain and increases the CMRR and also reduces the input offset and increases the differential gain by 2 because the voltage induced here and voltage induced here, they have different polarity, and summing them together or subtracting them together, it will increase the amplitude of the voltage between that node and that node. But if I want a single-ended output, I want the V output to be brought here reference to ground, I will lose the amplification that has been produced at that node, and that will reduce my gain by 2. So to analyze this and to think about how to solve this problem, if the voltage that has been produced by this node here can be inverted and then summed to this node here, I think we will get here voltage from that branch and also voltage from that branch, and by summing them together I will recover my gain if I want to consider a single output, not differential output. How we can do that? I think we know the voltage here is already brought by this current, and the voltage there is brought by this current through RD, and because we have here negative sign, is already that current will be downward, and if we found a way to mirror it to this side here, we can bring that current with that voltage to this side, because if we can sum two quantities by a node and pushing current toward that node. So I said mirroring. I think you know what is the next stage. We can use mirror, current mirror here, and that current mirror can take that current and mirror it to the other side, and that current is going out, that current is going out. That means that current here is the summation between that current and that current, okay? And by this way, I have got single-ended output and didn't lose the amplification that was by 2. I recover it. So this is not the only thing that is brought by this current mirror. If we look at the differential gain for the old one, it's dominated by RD here, which is parallel to R out, and R out is very high. So by bringing the current mirror here and looking down here, we will find RD. Looking down here, we will find R out, because it's the small signal model between drain and source, and that means the gain is here R out parallel to R out, and both are high. That means it increases also the gain of my amplification, and that explains why we have a current mirror here. And now this is the first stage of amplification. We have the V output single-ended, and we have another amplification which is common source. By looking at that common source, this is a simple circuit and pulled up by a resistor like this. And if you want to understand the gain of that one, I think up we can see RD, down we can see R out. So this is the small signal model between V out and also V output 1, okay? And this VGS here is the V output 1. Okay, what is the gain? It will be RD parallel to R out GM, and again we have the same practice. RD is there. Can we replace it to represent R out? And I think yes, if we replace it by a transistor which is called active load. That active load here, the drain and source R out will be brought to the small signal model, and we can get higher gain. So this transistor here will increase also my gain higher for the second stage. So these are two stages here. The first stage gain is this one, the second stage gain is this one, and by multiplying them together we will get gain of R out GM over 2 squared. But we still have a problem here. If we load the amplifier here by a capacitor, for example, like that, And at high frequencies, we know the capacitor has a reactance. That reactance will be parallel to R out and R out, and that will deteriorate the gain of this amplifier. This means if I am under the mercy of the capacitance of the output to determine the gain of my second stage, which is not desirable thing and it's not robust design. So how I can mitigate the impact of the output capacitance is by bringing CC here. That CC is another capacitor, and maybe in simple words, if you have very high frequency, that will behave like a short circuit, shorting the second stage and bringing V output to V output 1 to V out. Yes, it will reduce the gain, but I will not be under the mercy of the output capacitance. This is the small signal model of the stage 1 and also stage 2, and the relation between V out and V output 1, it will be like at high frequency, it will be like a voltage divider, and the CC will dominate the voltage division by a good selection of the value. So the gain of this amplifier at high frequency, it will be GM over the reactance of the CC, and now I'm excluding the CL outside. And at low frequency, I will keep the gain without any problem. So by this way, I think we have understand every block, what it does and how we compute the gain for that. And that brought me to the end of this lecture. Thank you very much.